What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday over here, May 22nd. We have a beautiful Bitcoin breakout here, and I've been talking about this for the past couple of days. Actually happened yesterday, and we are seeing some pretty great gains in the markets right now, in the crypto markets. Stock market actually bouncing back. That could be what's keeping the crypto markets down. But we're gonna be taking a look into what's gonna be going on later today and for the rest of this week. Is there a lot more upside coming for the crypto markets? And of course, we're gonna be taking a look into Bitcoin first because that is the driver of the markets. What Bitcoin does is going to affect your altcoins. So you want to be cheering for Bitcoin here as this breakout continues, right? And we are also going to be taking a look into a few altcoins, recapping on them because I have actually talked about them with you guys previously, which will include Terra Classic. We're going to be talking about MOG, which is a meme coin, a bigger meme coin. Also going to be talking about the graph today, GRT, and see what is going on in this market. This market is a little older, but it's got more data that we could be looking at. And of course, we're going to be taking a look into any potential moves that could be happening, okay? Because if you guys are new to this channel, you guys should know that I dive deep into the charts every day to find the moves before they actually happen with technical analysis, with charts, because it's just a lot lower risk that way, right? It's a lot lower risk finding the moves before they actually happen rather than chasing a pump on the day of. And if you guys do want to learn technical analysis and see the markets a lot more clearly for yourself, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Of course, if you guys have any technical analysis requests for any coins in the market, you can drop a comment in the comment section below as well. I will pick one every day to do it for you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into Bitcoin. This is very important because if Bitcoin continues going, that is going to pump the rest of the markets. As we are already seeing right now, we have Bitcoin up over almost 1.5%. Actually broke out of that 110K resistance I've been talking about. But what I am looking for here is a more solid candle close on the higher time frames. That tells me that this is not just a fake out and this is actually for real, right? So far, we have hourly candle closes, we have 4-hour candle closes in terms of solid candle, right? 6 hour, we're still working on it. I'm really looking for daily, 3-day, and of course weekly, right? Those are going to be taking a little bit more time. But right now, yeah, we do have a breakout here above the previous all-time highs, right? Just want to make sure that we hold this level, and we should be seeing some pretty big moves coming to crypto very soon. Now, let's take a look into weekly time frame. I just want to bring this up with you guys because there is still a sell signal, but there has been exceptions where sell signals get invalidated. What I'm talking about here and what you guys will want to pay attention to throughout trading is something called divergence, right? Which is basically you use the price action chart to look for, in this case, a higher high, higher or equal high on the price action chart. This high compared to these two highs here, but we have a lower high on the RSI. That usually indicates a pullback is coming. There has been exceptions, especially in past breakouts, namely in the weekly time frame, November 2024, monthly time frame, December 2020. Okay, so they could get invalidated, but something I will still be cautious about until it gets invalidated. Now let's take a look into total 3. Okay, total 3, which is altcoins excluding Ethereum, it was still consolidating at about the daily 200 SMA, and now it has gotten that big retest, right? A bullish retest off that daily 200 SMA. So looking very good here for the overall altcoin markets. I've talked about this target for quite some time. A break out of this falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame. Price target for this breakout is about 1.1 trillion for total 3. Okay, that could still pump some of these smaller altcoins pretty significantly. So yeah, definitely a good sign here, in my opinion, right? Basically, not financial advice. What I'm saying here is purely my opinions only, okay? Let's take a look into uh, ES1 exclamation mark, okay? Very important to be paying attention to this as well. Part of the theory that I have for the breakout of Bitcoin that it hasn't actually gone ballistic yet was because, well, ES1 exclamation mark, which is the S&P 500 futures, was dumping yesterday. Okay, which is usually correlated with Bitcoin. Okay, it is. I usually use it as a front running signal for Bitcoin as well. And it has just been dumping yesterday while Bitcoin was trying to break out. So part of my theory was, why Bitcoin hasn't gone crazy yet is because we had this dump. But right now, S&P 500 is, we're seeing some reversal signals. Namely a bullish divergence, which is basically where you get an equal or lower low, in this case a lower low, right? However, an equal or higher low on the RSI, and that usually indicates a reversal, right? Basically almost the same thing as as bearish divergence, but on the other side. So this is what I'm seeing. S&P 500 at some support levels with reversal indicators, reversal signals. So could it stop dumping so Bitcoin can actually, actually get a pretty good breakout here? Something to be keeping in mind of. Let's take a look into Terra Luna Classic first. See what has gone on in this market. All right, last time we talked about this, just a couple days ago. Let's see what has happened. Okay, weekly time frame, big falling wedge pattern. Okay, still looks intact, still looks valid. Measure move, if it breaks out by this point, will give you a measure move of about 3 zeros and 348 about. Okay, so quite a bit of a big move here. If this coin can actually break out of this pattern. It usually breaks to the upside, and the price targets are estimates only. It could be more, it could be less. If the price action actually breaks and actually achieves this price target, we're going to come back here if enough of you guys want to see Terra Luna Classic again. And we're going to cover what could be happening at the price action if it reaches its price targets. We're going to be we're going to be charting the consolidation patterns at that level, right? And see if it could actually continue upwards or would it be taking a pullback, okay? I personally think that, personally, I am pretty bullish on the crypto markets right now. I would say until throughout the end of the year. If the charts start printing something different, I will let you guys know. Now let's go ahead and go on to a daily time frame here and see what could be going on, right? Shorter time frame. Let's see if we can get any clues on where this price action could be doing. So no particular pattern here. Could this be Can we get a chart going on here? This looks like initially it was a rising channel, right? Which is usually bearish, okay? It usually breaks to the downside. And this is a established rising channel here, okay? If it does break down, this is on the daily time frame. If it breaks down by this point, that will give you a measure move of all the way back down to 4 zeros and 5, okay? So this is basically what I'm looking at for Terra Luna Classic. Let's see if it actually breaks down, right? That is what the odds are in favor of for an ascending channel. Could it still break to the upside? Yes, just not in your favor. 4-hour time frame. Let's see if we can get any clues on what could be happening here. This was a falling wedge. Measure move, which is basically taken by measuring the opening of the pattern. And then you put it on top of the breakout points. Measure move will give you about 4 zeros and 71. Okay, about there. So a shorter price target here on this smaller time frame. Something to be paying attention to. Of course, it's going to be looking a lot more bullish if it actually breaks out of this bearish pattern. Let's take a look into MOG, see what's going on in here. Double-digit gains today. It is at the daily 200 SMA as resistance, right? Last time we talked about this, we saw a there was a falling wedge pattern, right? Price target still valid. It's going to be about all the zeros in front of it, and about just right underneath 25, right? So that looks like, yeah, I mean, almost, I mean, not yet double its price action right now, but quite a few cereals in front of it, and almost 25, okay? At the daily 200 SMA as resistance right now, the orange line, right? And last time we actually talked about this, I said that there was a descending triangle pattern, right? This descending triangle pattern looks like it actually try to break out of it and back in, and in that case, it actually looks pretty bullish, because if you actually break out of a bearish pattern, that is looking very bullish for the price action. However, this one did actually break back down into it. In that case, we do have to invalidate that pattern. And this thing looks like it was originally a cup and handle. Something like this. Probably on a smaller time frame. I'm just trying to get a price target here. This is still a cup and handle in my books. Let's take a look into a price target. Which is basically, you take the neckline and measure it all the way down to the bottom of the pattern, and then you put it back on top of the neckline. And this, in this case, will give you about 16, okay, with all the zeros in front of it. So that's basically what I'm seeing for MOG coin, from the bigger time frames all the way down to a shorter time frame. Let's take a look into GRT, see what's going on in this market. I have not covered this coin for quite some time, so let's go ahead and kind of take a look from scratch here. Monthly time frame. Very important that we're not in a that this coin is not in a overbought territory on the monthly RSI, because if you guys actually take a look into any altcoins with monthly RSI data back in 2021. Tell me, how long does the price action stay up for while the monthly RSI is in overbought territory before it actually starts dumping, right? And I'm going to be paying attention to that as well as the bull cycle goes on, right? Because I definitely want to be cautious about buying into altcoins with an overbought RSI on the monthly time frame. All right, so this looks like, let's come down to a smaller time frame so I can validate some of these trend lines. I need 3 candle touches or very close 3 candle touches. I think that's kind of close enough, right? And right here. And we have a nice falling wedge right here. Measure move. It's going to give you if it breaks out by this point, measure move for GRT will give you about 62 cents, right? Just right above 62 cents here. Let's take a look into a shorter time frame, see what we could be seeing here, okay? Could this be a ascending channel? Rising channel? It is. So very similar charts with MOG here, okay? Usually bearish. If it breaks down, price target. Price target. Which is basically the measurement of the opening of the pattern. Do you want to pay some attention here? If it breaks down by this point, we'll give you a measure move of just about 9.2 cents. Okay? Let's take a look into a smaller time frame and see what we could be dealing with here and see if we can get any clues on if this price action will actually break down. Of course, it will be very bullish if GRT actually breaks to the upside of this bearish pattern. Usually not in your favor. Well, no particular pattern here. No particular pattern here. So if so this is what I'm looking at for GRT, basically on the daily time frame, right? Like I said, if the price action actually is able to break out of this bearish pattern, looking very good on the daily time frame. So this wraps it up for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you guys have any requests that you guys want to see for any altcoins. Comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comments. And I will see you guys next time.